Hey, what up, man? This your boy EP. I know. It's been a while since y'all heard from me, but this NFL draft was just last weekend, and I've been running. And I'm not giving myself no excuse because you got to stay on point, man. But you know what? I'm here now. Let's talk about this 2025 NFL draft. Um, and the main thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Shedeur Sanders. It seemed like it took the headline. It was the most viral moment of the draft. It overtook Travis Hunter, who was the number one pick. It overtook a lot of stuff. I think he was number one pick. Don't the Shedeur Sanders so much you don't even know who the number one pick is or was. But anyway, overall the draft was good, man, and it was a lot of insight, a lot of emotion. I think it was the most emotional draft in years past, and it had to do a lot with his dad, Prime, with Deion Sanders. And my take on it is I loved it. I loved it all. Coming from a former NFL player myself, I could see both parts, right? I can see how the letdown from a kid that was expected to go, I'm saying top five, right? And slide that much. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. And then we had a kid get pranked, right? Shedeur Sanders get pranked from another kid that was happened to be the Atlanta Falcons GM son, I believe, that got the number from personal fouls and called Shedeur and acted like he was the Tennessee Titans and that they was about to draft. It was the worst. I can only imagine how that felt. That was absolutely horrible. I've heard of people, friends doing it to other friends when you're about to get drafted. Thank goodness that didn't happen to me when I got drafted, right? But it showed the resilience that Shedeur had during that embarrassing moment, man. It was bad. But overall, he did good. I'm proud of him. Now let's hop into it on what the main subject was. Deion Sanders, a lot of people say he was very boastful and proud and conceited and all of this stuff. They use a lot of derogatory words towards Deion Sanders on how he is and how he raises kids. Now, the thing about being confident is sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. People love you and then they hate you. Deion already understands all that. He's gonna consistently be him. He called, you know what I'm saying? So you'll be a bandwagon person. You're gonna like him one day, not like him one day. I don't think that affect him. What does affect him is when you attack his kids, right? And so lo and behold, the NFL, a lot of people saying they conspired to say let's not hire or draft Shedeur Sanders. Let's make an example out of him. Whether that's true or not, I'm not here. I don't know, right? But I do know this. Football wise, let's just stick to football. Football wise, I'm looking at it like, was Shedeur just football wise a top five pick? Now, looking at his stats, looking at what he did, it's hard to argue that, especially it's not even about are you the best player ever. It's really are you better than the guys that's you're playing against or that drafting. So I can definitely say he's up there, right? Whether it's five, first round, second round, I didn't study the film that much, but I definitely think he deserved, which is a careful word that I don't like to use, but he deserved to be maybe up there, right? Definitely more than fifth round. All right. But it was a lot of hype going in, and everybody already anticipated Shedeur getting drafted top five. Here's why I think it went wrong, and I'm coming from an agent's perspective. So all the Shedeur fans, please don't hate me on this, but I'm coming from an agent's perspective, more so on the business side, opposed to just the hold on one second, guys. All right, sorry about that. I'm coming from the the um the agent side. Yeah, I'm coming from the agent side perspective in the business side of things, opposed to just the feelings and emotions. So what happened with that is as an agent, my job is to manage expectations. That's my number one job. When I have a player going into the draft, I need to manage where we getting drafted at, when, how much money we looking at, all of that stuff. That is my one of my primary obligations to my client. The thing that I'm confused or lost on, I'm not even tripping that Shedeur Sanders got drafted in the 5th round. Because honestly, as a kid growing up, that's everybody's dream. You don't really care. You want to hear your name get called, man. That's like a lifelong dream. Just imagine you was dreaming you wanted to be a superhero one day and Superman, and you're flying through the sky and you're Superman. Or you want to be a doctor and you're a doctor. You have all these dreams and aspirations, right? And you achieve it. He's just a kid. He wants to get drafted, which is why he celebrated and was dancing with his brother when he got drafted. He didn't care that it was 5th round. I got drafted. I got my name called. Now, when we get a little entitled, we can be angry, even though this blessing is here, right? We can get angry. And I don't want to say he was entitled. I think Shedeur is a great kid because he stood strong. He wasn't angry or mad. He's taking whatever God's blessing him with his journey, right? And it ain't where you start, it's where you finish. The only thing that I will say this is what happened. Something happened. Either he was told he was going to get drafted too high from the beginning, or at the end, they colluded and said, we ain't going to draft him. It got to be one or the other. Let me tell you why. As an agent, if Shedeur Sanders was my client, right, I get phone calls. Don't get it twisted. The draft is not a lottery. You're not surprised. You're not like when you go in a store and you buy a lottery ticket and you're like, oh, I won. That's not how the draft goes. Even though it may seem like that because there's a lot of suspense, right? When you're watching the draft and doo-doo-doo, you hear all those every time it's a pick. And with the 31st pick of the 1st round, the New York Jets choose, that happens. I get that. But on our end, as an agent, I kind of got an idea. I don't know exactly where my client's going to get drafted, but I got a range. It was talked about. It's talked about from the All-Star game. It's talked about at the combine. I get enough feedback from the people in my industry to know, hey, my client's going to be between the 63rd and 80th pick, or he's a top 50 pick guy, or he's a top 10 guy. You don't get it to where they're saying you're a top 170th pick guy without knowing that. So that's the biggest question. Is like, if he was unrepresented, let's say he didn't have an agent, his dad was helping him out, which is cool. A lot of people do it. But nobody called Prime or Dion was like, hey, bro, your son is gonna be like a 4th or 5th round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of know, you get an idea going into it, right? Unless you just ignored them. Unless Dion ignored them. Unless they was saying, nah, bro, forget what you saying. I know my son gonna be a top 10 pick. Unless that was ignored, then you kind of have an idea of where you're gonna get picked. So my thing as an agent is, I'm not gonna be that surprised. Yeah, we might not go 1st round, but maybe 2nd, 3rd. It's no way that my client would not know and still waiting by the phone thinking like, why I didn't go top 5. I think we should all know that. Even with I have a lot of alliances and constituents in the NFL that'll call me personally. I'm just keeping it real. They'll call me personally off the record. Hey, man, I like your kid, man. We might not take him, but that kid will be going off the board by 2nd round. Somebody had to tell them, man. Like, it's not that big a surprise to go from thinking top 5 pick to 5th round pick. I just don't understand that. And I know it's funny that Shiloh was like, he's a funny kid. I love that kid. Like, it didn't work out too good with my dad representing me, so I went in and I signed on with an agent. And unfortunately, I don't think that was the problem. Like, Shiloh, Shedeur, two total situations. I don't think an agent would have necessarily helped Shiloh in that predicament because nobody was saying he was going to be a top draft pick anyway. I think he had a great chance. I think he's the kind of player that will go in there in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you like, well, shoot, if he went free agent, he only have to wait 4 years. He can get back to the table and get him a big time contract in 3 years. So with his thing, he can be just the player he wants, and I think he will go in there and ball out. He balls against the wall. He got nothing to lose. Just that the Shedeur thing from a behind the scenes perspective, somewhere I don't necessarily think it was bad that he got drafted where he was at. I'm not saying he was entitled or he deserved and all these words that we kind of ling on to because we get connected emotionally. I was just saying there's no way he shouldn't have known that he wasn't in that draft range from 4th to 7th round. You just don't pop up like that. Somebody got to say something, and if he had an agent, maybe that agent might have been able to relate a message, non-emotional message like, "Hey, Shedeur, this is where we at, dog," or this what they thinking, or "Hey, Shedeur, you might want to go ahead and throw at the combine because they kind of unsure about this," or "Hey, man, you got invited to this All-Star game. You might want to go ahead and play. You need to show them this," or pro day. You had ample opportunities to. If they had questions, you had ample opportunities, right, to show. And I am a believer. Go show. If you a baller, go ball, man. You get invited to All-Star game, play it, right? If you go to the combine, participate. Maybe not on the bench press, but do something. Throw. They want to see you. Their job is to. The problem is that the NFL have scouts. Their job is to evaluate talent, and it's hard for them to evaluate the talent if you're not giving them something to evaluate. Now, I know some people be like, "Well, Travis Hunter didn't do it. That was the risk he took." And he's cool with that. And be honest with you, Travis Hunter, a lot of these, he's a once in a lifetime legendary type player in the aspect everybody consensus said that he was going to be top 5. Nobody ever doubted any of his things. So when you're in that predicament, which is maybe 5 or 6 people every year out of 10,000 trying to go to the draft, if you're in that conversation, I get it. But it's no one all be all answer for everybody. You got to evaluate this thing truthfully and honestly for yourself. And that's my job as an agent, is to manage expectations. And I zero out all feelings and emotions, right? And say, this is where we at. This is where Tampa Bay has you. This is what New Orleans Saints think. And I hold them to the fire because I have friends and work associates that we have to work together, whether it's the teams, GMs, scouts that I talk to where we work together every year. You're not gonna sit here and lie to me like, "Hey, yeah, man, your son top 5. Oh, I don't know what happened." They're gonna tell me the truth, right? Somebody. And my job is to tell my client the truth. So that's my 2 cents, man. Y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think as well. And overall, I'm happy for the kid. I think he's happy. And I think Prime is happy. Like, look at the bigger picture. He got 2 kids, 2 sons in the NFL. That's amazing. That's a huge blessing. Who cares where they got picked? I went 7th round. You think I'm like, "Oh man, I went 7th round all those years ago and I'm still up." No, I am excited and I'm thankful that I was able to live my journey and God blessed me with getting my name called. And I'm pretty sure them boys feel the same way, and deep down Prime feel the same way as well. Hey, so let me hear y'all what y'all think, man. Appreciate y'all joining me.